Hello. I hope that you are having an absolutely fantastic day. I personally am feeling a little bit indifferent. It's the warmest day of the year and it is pouring down rain. Well, not at the moment, it's not pouring down rain, but earlier it was pouring down rain, which has basically ruined the entire day. And then it's supposed to rain for like the next week straight. So, but honestly, I like thunderstorms and rain, so it's not too bad, but it's just kind of upsetting that it's the warmest day of the year so far. But it's honestly kind of fitting because today I want to discuss a topic that's a little bit more gloomy and glum, kind of like the weather. So, it's being reflected in that. But anyway, if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. And if you've never seen one of my videos, my name is McKenna. I own a digital media company called Studio SB Creatives. And I talk a lot about tips and tricks for businesses and, the pursuit of goals and mindsets and really anything like that. However, today I want to discuss something that I was thinking about because I was having a conversation with somebody and I started to say a couple things out loud that I'd never really thought about. And now I kind of want to discuss my thinking with you. So, on your pursuit of, success, riches, goals, whatever it may be, the one thing that I've noticed and that I've come to terms with is that there is a lot less support out there than you would think. You would think that, you'd have more people in your corner, but that's just not the case. And the fact of the matter is that not only do people not care about your success most of the time, but almost no one wants to see you succeed anyway. And that's like a psychological thing, I think. It's just that, people get envious or jealous and they really just don't want to see people doing better than they are, because it, evokes all these negative emotions, such as like, am I moving too slow? Why am I not at that level? And it just brings up all these negative feelings, and then, they attach those negative feelings to thoughts of you, and it's just a bunch of negative connotations, and it's just really depressing. So what you'll notice in your life is that most people don't support you, or they just don't care. People that you would think that would care don't, and some of them don't even want you to succeed, not because they want you to fail, but because they just don't want to see you doing better than them. And you begin to realize that there are very, very few people in the world who actually do want to see you succeed. There's no saying who those people are going to be because, for some people, your parents might be your biggest supporter, or they might be your biggest hater. Your best friend might be your biggest supporter, or they might be the biggest two-faced person you've ever met after you start to succeed and they like flip a switch. But the one thing that I have noticed is that you will always find support somewhere in your community or industry or from like-minded people. For me personally, it's new entrepreneurs, business owners, people who are open to reading self-help books and self-improvement books, and like we just connect on those things, and it doesn't really feel like a competition when we're discussing business. It's not like I made $50,000 last year and this dude made $300,000. I mean, would I like to be at that level? Sure. But it's not that I feel jealousy or envy towards this person, because like we're at similar points. And the fact that this person is successful is something that I truly feel happy for them for. Like, I'm glad that they are building something out of nothing, and vice versa. Like, I have a couple friends who kind of went out and did their own thing, and they're just like really supportive, even though they're in all different industries, and there's no competition, there's no backhanded compliments, there's nothing like that. It's all just support. I also have people in my life dare I call them friends, because sometimes they don't really feel like it, but I have this one friend who always wants to talk about, his day, and always wants to discuss when things are going good for him and when he's happy and this and that. And I just sit there and I listen and I nod and I smile, and I genuinely am happy for him. But when I try and do it, when I try and tell him, oh, I got this new connection today, or I did this or that thing, it's like talking to a brick wall. He doesn't care, shrugs it off, doesn't really even acknowledge it. And you wouldn't expect that kind of behavior from somebody that you're really close to, but that's just what it is, man. And it's honestly really hard to see. And that's the conversation I was having with this person. It was, well, I was having a conversation with somebody about this person, about that specific kind of incident. And until I said it out loud, I didn't really think too much of it. And I realized that there is just not a lot of support in the world. At least not from close-minded people who truly do just expect success to fall in their lap without them having to lift a finger or do, a second of work. Those are the type of people who will suck your life force dry, and who will drain your creativity, and who will bog you down to the point of stagnation. If you don't cut those people off, I'm sorry. Like, I don't care if they're your best friend. I don't care if they're a parent. I don't care if they're like a close family member, a brother, a coworker, whoever. If somebody's acting like that towards you, your best option is to cut them off. Like, sorry, I gotta do this for myself. Adios. Just end it right there, rip off the Band-Aid. Don't let it go a minute further. I know that is not always an option for people, but if you can't just get out of the situation, just avoid what you can from it, because you really shouldn't be dealing with that kind of energy and somebody in that state of mind. If you want to be successful, you have to build up like a support group. Napoleon Hill, one of my favorite authors, would call it a mastermind group. It's a collection of people. They don't all have to be from the same industry. I'm not going to go into a bunch of details about it, maybe on another video, but for the most part, you build up this mastermind group of supportive, like-minded people who you can discuss with and get creative with, and there's no competition. It's just a bunch of people trying to better themselves and get ahead in life. And you want to put those type of people in your circle. You don't want these people who are passive aggressive. You don't want the people who don't support you. You don't want the people who would rather see you fail than see you succeed. Because at the end of the day, those people will screw up any chance that you have at success, whether intentional or not. And that is just the sad reality of it all. I know, depressing, I'm sorry. But I have seen so many times, even in my own life, where I have let these negative mindsets and negative, these people with negative energy infiltrate my mindset and my mind state, and they cause me to be a little bit less productive and a little bit more lazy, and I tend to procrastinate more, and I tend to not be the person that I personally want to be when I am around them, either because their negative habits are rubbing off on me, or because I'm trying to hide my good habits as to not make them feel like they're less than me. Not that I believe that they're less than me, but people perceive things in crazy ways. So, just erring on the side of caution with that. I will say that if you look at your own life and you recognize that you are in a situation similar to something that I have described here today, please, for yourself, for your sanity, and for your future, get out of it as quickly and as cleanly as possible. You will look back and thank yourself because I can guarantee that those people with those negative mindsets, those negative energies, you know, however it is that they're acting, I guarantee that if you cut ties with that relationship, that you will look back on them in just a few years' time and realize how much further you got without them holding you back. You know, you're going to be top performer at this company, whatever it is that you want to do, and they'll still be the manager at McDonald's, part-time, making $12,000 a year because they have no goals, no ambition, and they're just waiting to strike the lottery, because they don't actually want to do any work to get where they want to be. They'd rather just, you know, dream and bitch. So with that, I am going to leave you. I know that this was not probably an easy thing to hear. It's not something that I really wanted to talk about, but I felt that it needed to be discussed regardless. And I hope that you find some value in this. I hope this gives you the push that you need to begin the rest of your life today, without certain people in your life holding you back. So with that being said, that's where I'm going to leave you. If you like this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you related to any content in here, or you want to talk about what I said or any of the topics discussed in this video, leave me a comment. And if you want to see more videos like this, or if you want to see whatever crazy adventures I get up to in the future, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I will see you on the next one.